Alrighty then, so we're going to be talking about Little Dead Rotting Hood, which is also known as Little Dead Riding Hood. Obviously a play on Little Red Riding Hood there. Now this one is actually an Asylum release, but don't let that put you off, it's actually quite fun. This one is directed by Jared Cohen, it stars Eric Balfour, Patrick Muldoon, a few other actors you'll never have seen before. Now, the interesting thing of this one is the actual central character here that we have on the cover, Little Dead Rotting Hood, is actually only a relatively minor part of the story here, and not the kind of the main character, which I found was interesting, and was actually to the film's benefit, because I felt she was one of the weaker parts to it. Now, the story here, basically, we have small town USA, which is basically being besieged by wolves, and they're basically killing a variety of the kind of the populace there. And it's up to our sheriff and his deputy, played by Balfour and Muldoon, to try and figure out what's going on. And we're told that these wolves, there's something different about them. Is it kind of a new species? They're larger, more vicious. They're kind of far more aggressive. And on top of that, we have this girl who is seemingly sacrificed by her grandmother to be reborn as this kind of supernatural warrior, a la kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but with a werewolf twist rather than a kind of a vampire twist. And she's kind of reborn, which has special powers and is able to kind of kill these wolves. And as a film progresses, basically we find out that these are no ordinary wolves and they have some supernatural capabilities as well. So that's pretty much your plot here. Let's go through it in a little bit of detail. Like I said, I actually found this is quite fun, but I felt it worked. The actual focus is actually on the police, to be honest with you, rather than this kind of like Little Dead Rotting Hood, which actually is really a supporting character, to be quite honest. And like I said, it's better because the performances are so much better and the characters are so much better, played by Muldoon and Balfour, who are more seasoned actors, even though they're not kind of huge names. They have been around for a while, been around in a variety of certainly genre, TV shows and kind of films, and they kind of make likeable characters and somewhat believable as well, so you kind of build on with them. And the way they use the werewolves, they kind of use real kind of wolves and dogs and things like that, so you're not kind of rolling your eyes over kind of bad special effects until we kind of get to the kind of the finale. And with most Asylum films, obviously they use real cheap CGI, and there obviously is a degree of this. The actual kind of Rotting Hood or Little Red Riding Hood character, like I said, we don't see much of her, especially in the kind of the first 2/3 of this film. She's a little bit more present in the kind of the latter bit. But then my issue with her is we know so little about her. We're told next to nothing about what her actual powers are. Is it wolf based? Because she looks like a vampire. Really nothing. There's no information about her whatsoever. So it's really kind of thin and kind of like it seems out of place, to be quite honest. And it's an unknown actress. The performances are okay. I did like some of the actual just the general kind of supporting cast here. Her boyfriend, for example, I thought was quite good, and again quite kind of believable in the way he kind of reacts, and almost a little bit meta in places as well. When we get to the end, we have a kind of a kind of a big CGI kind of werewolf films, and they do have a little bit of a twist about who this kind of werewolf this kind of actual alternate personality, which is a little bit more sophisticated than you may have thought. First of all, it does have this kind of fun Buffy feel to it. So if you did like the kind of the Buffy the Vampire series, and it almost sets itself up like it's going to be a pilot, or it's going to have other films basically down the line, because there's obviously more things kind of going on here. But unfortunately the weakest element is actually this kind of the actual supernatural character. It's just so thinly sketched out. We know nothing about her, and just very ill-defined, unfortunately. Yeah, it's cheesy. When we get to the kind of the special effects and the CGI, they kind of look on the weaker side, actually. And it's quite funny where they shoot they end up having this kind of big siege with all these wolves coming in, and the effects they use to kind of like show bullets pinging off these wolves is kind of funny and stuff as well. Even though it was cheap, I actually still had quite fun with this one. There's obviously a lot wrong with it. Asylum films are never going to be, Oscar-worthy, shall we say, but nonetheless, I actually felt this was a slightly better effort than the kind of a lot of the ones that we've seen here. But I actually wished it would have kind of reined itself in a little bit more, and it would have actually been a bit more of a kind of an interesting film if it had kind of almost dialed back on some of the kind of the supernatural elements and just had this town besieged by sort of kind of like unnaturally kind of aggressive wolves and stuff like that. Maybe touch on the supernatural element here and there, but just focus on the police characters because they were a lot better actually. Anyway, I'm going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave a comment and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.